Thank you and welcome. I want to thank the Saban Theatre and Rabbis Barron and Pador for all their efforts in making tonight's event possible. I'd also like to thank our co-sponsors, the Skeptic Society, the Discovery Institute, and the Center for Inquiry, for making tonight possible. Tonight's event is brought to you by the American Freedom Alliance, of which I'm the president. It's an organization devoted to upholding Western ideals and values and identifying threats to Western civilization. And this event caps a 5-week series of events we have run examining the conflict between evolutionary theory and intelligent design. And we have felt that this series of lectures, film screenings, and other discussions to be of tremendous importance to the future of the West, involving as it does matters of sociology, psychology, economics, religion, and of course politics. We offer a number of wonderful monthly programs, including the Literary Cafe, the Cinema Gateway, and our lecture series and conference series. Next year's program is contained in a flyer that we'll have available for you after the program. And to finish off 2009, we have a premiere of a great new film called You and Me, a documentary on the United Nations, which will be screened in Santa Monica on Thursday, December the 10th. And I encourage you to take a flyer about that particular event. 150 years ago, Charles Darwin's book on the origin of species was published in the United Kingdom. The book had been simmering in Charles Darwin's mind for nearly 30 years as he methodically gathered his evidence to prove his theory that natural selection through random variation had been responsible for the development of life on Earth. He published his book knowing full well the firestorm of protest it would ignite in Victorian England. His theory that organic life developed with no apparent guiding hand of design was revolutionary, challenging the very foundations of Victorian England and of scientific inquiry. But Darwin did not have the tools we have today to uncover the mysteries and the secrets of the past, and did not live long enough to witness the remarkable discoveries of modern science, from the structure of the atom to the discovery of DNA. But he did recognize that the fossil record, if the fossil record did not produce adequate evidence, then his theory would be in jeopardy. And we are today still left with questions. Is random mutation and natural selection sufficient to produce new forms of life that have arisen throughout history? After 150 years of Darwinism, the unearthing of millions of fossils, the commissioning of countless scientific papers, are we any closer to ascertaining the truth of who we are and where we are from? In the end, how adequate has Darwin's theory and its modern version, Neo-Darwinism, been in explaining the origins of life? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the question we're going to debate here tonight. And we could not have 4 more illustrious individuals to do so. For the affirmative, we are fortunate to have with us Michael Shermer. Dr. Michael Shermer is the founding publisher of Skeptic magazine, the editor of Skeptic.com, a monthly columnist for many magazines. Dr. Shermer's latest book is The Mind of the Market on Evolutionary Economics, and his last book was the bestseller Why Darwin Matters, Evolution and the Case Against Intelligent Design. Accompanying him is Donald Prothero, who is a professor of geology at Occidental College in Los Angeles, a lecturer in geobiology at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena. He's currently the author, co-author, or co-editor of 21 books and almost 200 scientific papers, including 5 leading geology textbooks and 3 trade books. For the negative, we have Dr. Stephen Meyer, who is the director of the Center for Science and Culture at the Discovery Institute in Seattle. Dr. Meyer received his PhD from Cambridge University and is author of peer-reviewed publications in technical, scientific, philosophical, and other books and journals. His latest book is Signature in a Cell, DNA and the Evidence for Intelligent Design, which has just been chosen by the Times Literary Supplement as one of the top books of 2009. He's accompanied by Dr. Richard Sternberg, who is a research scientist at the Biologic Institute and a research collaborator was a research collaborator at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History. He holds a PhD in biology, in molecular evolution from Florida International University, and another PhD in systems science, theoretical biology from Binghamton University. From 2001 to 2007, he served as a staff scientist at the National Center for Biotechnology Information, and from 2001 to 2007, he was a research associate at Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History. Please welcome our guests. Once again, the debate topic for tonight: has evolutionary theory adequately explained the origins of life? And to avoid the debate's descent into a contest over definitions, all four panelists debaters have agreed to the following definitions. Evolutionary theory means new forms of life and their distinctive features and structures arising from simpler pre-existing forms of life as natural selection sifts through random mutations and identifies the most efficient forms and systems for life's continuation. Origins of life means origin of the first life from simpler non-living chemicals and the development of new living forms from simpler pre-existing forms. Adequately means has biological evolutionary science provided the public with sufficient evidence to establish that simple forms of life developed into complex forms. Now, I just want to go over the schedule for the debate and some of the rules. For the first 25 minutes, we'll have a presentation of the affirmative argument, followed in the next 25 minutes by a presentation of the negative argument. Following that, there'll be a rebuttal phase, and each side will be given 2 opportunities to rebut the statements made by the other side and clear up any confusion surrounding their own arguments. Then there will be questions from the moderator, myself, and the audience. We will pass around cards to you with pencils shortly before the rebuttal phase ends for you to fill out, submit your questions. I will then choose the questions to submit to the debaters. Finally, the concluding statements. Each side will have 5 minutes to conclude their arguments and present them in a concise way. Some of the rules. All speakers will adhere strictly to their time limits. Audience members will not be permitted to ask questions directly of the speakers. Questions must be written down on cards and presented to the ushers who will be passing among you and then presented to me. At the conclusion of the debate, the moderator will announce book sales and book signings in the lobby. Debate participants will immediately proceed from here to the lobby to sign sign their books. And that is the introduction for this debate, and I would now like to call on Dr. Shermer to present the first argument for evolutionary theory.
Welcome. Thanks for coming out. Such a beautiful warm night. And to my debate opponents who are from out of town, I'm sorry about this blistering cold winter weather that we're having here. So I'm going to just give some general background about what I think are some of the meta issues involved in the debate, and then I'll turn it over to Dr Prothero to take up the technical details. In 2004, in his book, The Design Revolution, the intelligent design leader, William Dembski, said, quote, "Scientific creationism has prior religious commitments, whereas intelligent design does not." Baloney. On February 6, 2000, Dembski told the National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Anaheim, quote, "Intelligent design opens the whole possibility of us being created in the image of a benevolent God.